Hey everybody, welcome to Home with the Halsteads, and I'm so glad you're in the kitchen with me today. I love having my family and my friends in the kitchen. So today we're going to be making a corn casserole. The weather is getting pretty. Easter is just around the corner, and I know if you're like me, you're beginning to think about that, and probably at the last minute you'll be pulling out those recipes that are seasonal and that you love to prepare for your family and friends around Easter time. So a corn casserole is a great dish to add. I wanted to go ahead and give it to you and show you how to make it, because if you haven't made it, if you're like me, you might want to try it before you actually serve it to a crowd. Sometimes I get a little hesitant if I'm trying a new recipe and I haven't tried it myself and I'm inviting friends over. So I do like to try it, and it's good any time of the year. So let me tell you what's going in the corn casserole, and then we'll get busy and we'll make it together. I'm starting out with a 10-ounce package of yellow rice. This is just rice that I picked up at the grocery store. It's yellow rice. You don't have to have any particular brand. And all that I did, and I've already done this, is go by the directions on the back. This particular package, it said to bring 2.5 cups of water to a boil, pour your rice in, put 2 tablespoons of butter, stir it for a minute, and then cover it with a tight lid and let it cook for 20 minutes. And I've already done that, so our rice is ready to help speed the process this morning. I'm going to be using 2 11-ounce cans of Mexicorn. 2 11-ounce cans of Mexicorn. I'm going to use an 8-ounce carton of sour cream. 1 10.5-ounce can of cream of chicken soup. Now you could use cream of celery, you could use cream of mushroom. Today I'm using cream of chicken, but I do like to use cream of celery soup sometimes as a substitute for cream of chicken soup. I'll be using 1 stick of butter, and we'll melt that. I'm using a small onion that I have chopped, and I'll be using 1.5 cups of grated cheese. And you know, I like to grate my own cheese because it's much better than using the prepackaged grated cheese. Sometimes I do use the prepackaged if I'm in a hurry, or maybe if I'm making grits, cheese grits, I will use the prepackaged. But for my casseroles and other dishes, I do like to grate my own cheese. So let's just get busy and let's make this corn casserole. Okay, here we go. Let's make this corn casserole. I've started out by draining our Mexicorn. Remember, we had 2 cans, 11-ounce cans of Mexicorn, and I have drained that. And I wanted to tell you that sometimes your Mexicorn doesn't have very much pimento, but if you want more color, then you can just add more pimento to your corn. So we're going to start out by adding a cup of sour cream, 8 ounces of sour cream to the Mexicorn. Just raking it all out of the little carton. And then to that, we're going to add 1 can of cream of chicken soup. This makes a large dish. It will serve probably 10 to 12 people, depending on the appetite of your guest. You could half the recipe if you wanted to do that. We're going to add 1 small onion, 1 chopped small onion. We're just going to stir this around, mixing it up. That smells good. Stirring. I should have gotten a larger spatula, and I've got one right here, but I'm just continuing to use this one for right now. So we have that mixed up. So now we're ready to add our yellow rice, and I cooked it in this medium-sized saucepan, and you can see that it's ready, it's done, and we're just going to add it to the corn and the other mixture. This makes a really big, nice casserole. It's wonderful to take off to a covered dish, luncheon or dinner, or like I said, if you're having company for Easter or any other holiday as far as that's concerned. Now, if I was just making it for me and Doug, I would by all means half this recipe. So today, you know what's going to happen. My friends and my neighbors are going to get some corn casserole. I'm going to turn the bowl around so that I can make sure that I mix it all together and get it all blended. Now, let's add our butter so it'll help us to mix it better. Butter adds flavor too. Now, here we go. That's better. Just mixing it up, making sure everything is blended well. I'm gonna rake it off of my spoon because sometimes it gets, you'll leave some on your spoon and that little bit will be dry. You don't want that. So just down at the bottom, tossing and turning this corn casserole. This is going to be so good. Okay, we've got it mixed up. So now, let's put it in our casserole. I have sprayed this 9 by 13 casserole with a vegetable oil spray. And I'm just going to, let me turn it this way so maybe you can see it better. Just going to put the mixture, the casserole mixture, in the baking dish. Spread it out evenly. I like to kind of gently spread mine so that it won't be so packed. You know, don't press down, and a lot of people like to do that, but I like to just kind of gently spread mine out. Actually, there will actually be some air in the casserole. It'll be lighter, won't be so tight. So there you have it. We're ready to go in the oven with it. Remember, I said that we were going to use a cup and a half of cheese, but we're not going to put the cheese on it until we bake it. I don't know if you've had this experience or not, but some of the recipes that I have call for putting the cheese on top and then baking it. But when I do that, the cheese tends to get really hard and crusty, and if you like that, that's great. And some recipes it works really well, but other recipes I like to bake my casserole, and then if it calls for just cheese on top while it's really, really hot straight out of the oven, then I like to put my cheese on it at that point, and it will melt, and your cheese will be softer on top. So we're going in the oven. I preheated the oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to bake this for about 25 to 30 minutes, and when it gets hot and bubbly, I'll come back and I'll show it to you, and we'll top it with cheese. Our corn casserole is out of the oven. I did add more time. I baked it for 45 minutes. A lot of times your casseroles will get hot around the outside, but it won't be hot in the center. So I added some time to it, and I actually laid a piece of foil over it after it had cooked for 30 minutes so that it wouldn't dry out. So now I'm adding the cheese. I also wanted to tell you that if you don't want to top it with cheese, this corn casserole would be delicious just like it is. But if you want to put some cheese, then now is the time to do it, right after it came out of the oven. So we're just spreading out the cheese, and I may need to get a little more cheese, or either spread this out a little more. I think I can make this work, because 1.5 cups is enough. You don't want too much, and you don't want it too thick, because you want it to kind of melt, and if you have it too thick, then it's not going to melt without putting it back in the oven, and I didn't want to do that. I just want it to kind of melt on top from the heat that's coming up out of the casserole. So let's put a little bit over here in this corner. I always kind of miss that corner. And there you have it, a corn casserole that's going to be delicious. Okay, friends, here's our corn casserole. I'm not going to bring it over because it is extremely hot. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. Thank you for liking and commenting on our videos. The more comments we get, the more times our videos will come up on Facebook. So I appreciate it if you could just give us a thumbs up or a like if you do like it. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you again really, really soon.